Hey Kingdom, if you're playing Path of Exile to assert Edict, you definitely want a little bit of Divine Orbs in your inventory to get rich. And one of the ways to do it is to sell your items. So, if nobody buying your items, or you are not sure how to set correct price, and most importantly you don't want to get scammed or underpaid, well, I will answer all of these questions in this video. In one of my recent videos I showed how to trade, and that was like only guide for trading. There was one really good comment that told me like I forgot to tell about selling stuff. Well, there's a reason for it. Technically I already told how to sell stuff. To being able to sell stuff actually, you need to get to Act 4, into King's March. That's the place where you meet Eng. Then you want to go into Wakapanu Island, you will unlock hideout over there, then in that hideout, exactly in that hideout, you want to talk with Eng, this will finish your quest and you will be able to sell stuff. Insane possibilities for you to gain loads of currency, what you actually need, and sell currency that you actually don't need. But to actually explain how to sell stuff, we need separate video, so that's why we are here. Well, now you kinda know how to unlock trading and selling especially. So what we can sell and how we can sell, basically how the system works. There's two different kinds of selling. First of all, you can sell your items, but also you may exchange currency, which is technically also selling. That's one of the great ways for especially beginners to get a little bit of currency. For example, you want to get a bunch of quality items and get armorer scrap, blacksmith whetstone, especially early in your campaign, maybe some artificial orbs. Campaign guide I already explained that you can go into modern quarry zone and basically farm over there in Act 2, you will get loads of these currency types, and early in the league they will cost like almost 1 for 1. Right now it's 1 for 3 armor scraps. That's basically how you can get loads of early exalted orbs, which you can use to buy quarter stuffs with 700 DPS. Without any quality, by the way, so it's like pretty easy way to get a little bit of money. To use currency exchange, basically you're using this window and there is I have and I want windows. So I have is basically what you have. For example, I have a bunch of perfect jeweler orbs and we want exalted orbs for them. You can quickly switch these windows, by the way, by holding button on controller or control clicking on PC. I mean, I'm on PC right now, but yeah, it's control plus click. This will help you to understand prices that you can sell for. For example, there's a bunch of selling opportunities for 36.5. This means I can sell all my perfect jeweler orbs not for 175, how it advised me, but for 181, and it will go nicely. As you can see right now, market tells me I can't sell it like that, but it's instantly sold. If you want to learn more about these types of trading and how to get loads of currency by trading actually, you just need to subscribe, because tomorrow I will show my strategy how I get around 40 or 50 divines every hour. And yeah, I just feel there will be a bunch of comments why you don't have 50 divines. Well, I'm buying stuff for 13 divines basically. You don't need actually currency in your pockets, you need currency on your characters. So that's like one of the ways to do some stuff. And basically you can trade for any currency in the game. So there's lots of currency items, you can buy any runes, you can buy any essences you need. So that's like a great way to actually sell stuff that you don't need and buy stuff that you need. Another little tip, if you're playing on mouse, of course you can just drag and drop your items over here and sell for exactly these items. It makes it easier, you don't need to like look exactly for the stuff. Now, how you actually can sell your items? Well, there's two ways. There's premium tabs, and they can be basic tabs like this, or they can be quad tabs like this for multiple items. And these tabs can be assigned with different affinities. So if you're freaking out about this interface, again, it doesn't matter, it works exactly the same, like interface will be a little bit different, but basically premium tab, and you can buy them in microtransaction menu and in stash tab folder. Of course, there's a bunch of different ones. I got a guide for stash tabs that you need. Stash tabs goes on sale every few weeks, so don't rush. You can buy extra stash tabs if you wait a little bit. Now let's talk about affinities, how we can set them. Basically, to sell anything, you need to make stash tab public. If you make it public, now you can drop any item in the stash tab and you can right click it and press like check any price. For example, we want to sell this waystone for exalted orbs, and I don't know, maybe like for 80 exalted orbs. Tada, it will be listed on the trade site. Now the person will message you when he decides to buy this waystone for 80 exalted orbs, and you will be able to sell it. He will message you, you will invite him into party, he will teleport into your hideout, and you will need to initiate the trade. That's already outdated method, and still someone selling stuff like that, you can do it. But there's of course new method, and it's Manage Shop. So there's Manage Shop. Premium tabs will be used only for selling items hand to hand by interacting with other players, and they can be quad stash tabs. But shop tabs, basically merchant tabs that you can also buy, they're a little bit different, and you place items over here and they work again in different fashion. So they can't be quad stash tabs, they can be only normal ones. And you place items over here, you select the price. After you select the price, item will be listed on trading website. But you get a little bit of time to actually get this item off. So now I can turn it off. It won't be listed. After like 10 seconds or so, this item will be locked. After item is locked, the price is set. And you won't be able to change price, or you won't be able to get this item back to your inventory for the next like few minutes. That's basically how selling works. So you need to be extra careful if you try to sell stuff, or you will sell really valuable items not for 7 divines but for 7 exalted orbs or even regal orbs, whatever you clicked. So as you can see, it's little lock icon over here, and this item is locked basically. This is of course a new trading system, and that's basically how you want to sell all your stuff. That's how I sell all my stuff, and it's super nice to wake up in the morning and see that there's a bunch of divine orbs in your pockets. Again, coolest part about this system is that you don't need to be online to sell stuff. Players will just teleport to a hideout and then they will buy items for this price. And that's the biggest question you may have. Why nobody buying your items? Well, there's a bunch of reasons, and let's talk about them. One of them is of course pretty obvious like a reason. And most obvious reason, as harsh as it may sound, your items are trash. Yeah, it's just bad items. No one will buy them. That's it. To actually sell stuff, you need to understand, is there's any value in item? Let me find. Maybe I got some like old ones. For example, these boots may look like a really fun boots, especially if you don't know like what's going on. I left them specially like for you to showcase the stuff. For unprepared player, it may look like a great deal. Wow, it's really high evasion rating, 500 sounds great, and we can add quality and rune to make it like 700 evasion. It will be great. It have 100 maximum life, it got 2 resistances to fire and lightning, so it's a great boots, yeah? Well, if your boots got no movement speed, the chances to sell these boots is close to 0. That's basically a harsh truth about boots. And same works for a lot of items. So to actually like sell stuff, you need to understand kinda like how character progression works and what people look for. Because you selling items not to vendor like Zolin. Yeah, you can sell items to vendor. You just open vendor window and bam, you sold it for gold. But you want exalt orbs, you want to have divines in your pockets. Well, nobody will buy trash items. You're not buying trash items, and people not buying trash items also. You can try to make something like good, for example, use Recombinator, and we will try to have like a little bit of movement speed, but we will try to have double resistance, for example. And if we're lucky, we will get nice boots. If not, these boots will go to where they belong to be, in trash bucket, but we got nice boots, okay. Not really great one, again, 10% movement speed is like worst roll ever. And still, these boots will require to drop bunch of exalted orbs, so no one will look for boots with movement speed. That's it basically. How to understand what item is good? Well, it's generally game knowledge, and you may level up your knowledge by, for example, going on PoE Ninja for PoE2 builds into our current league, and for example check like what top players are using. They're using boots with maximum movement speed and with bunch of resistances. So if you got something like this, well, it's item in demand. You just check like 10 players for the die and you will understand what you can sell for the die player. I will tease something, it's in production, maybe it will be finished, maybe not, it depends mostly on the reaction on tomorrow's video. It will be about efficiency and how to get 50 divines per hour, but basically if item is trash, I drop it and I never see this item, but if item is good, I drop it and I instantly see it. So I don't even like reading items, I'm just dropping them on the ground, and if it's good, I see it in the green. It's very good to quickly understand what can sell. So just this amulet, for example, can go for like few exalts, and it can sell. We can enchant it even more on that in tomorrow's video, and it will probably sell for 1 divine or even more. Not a big deal, but still it's good. Another reason why something is not selling is no demand. There is no demand for the item. Again, as I told you, there is no demand for boots without movement speed. Same can be true for any other item. For example, this rope is okay-ish. It got implicit spirit, it got a little bit spirit on top, it got fire resistance, strength, so it's everything druid will need. A little bit of health, spirit and resistance. But there is no druid class right now, therefore there is no demand for this item. Even if I drop this for like 1 exalt, probably no one will buy it. But maybe someone will buy who is bought. Well, because this item can be basically salvaged and I can sell 2 of these artificial shards for exalt. That's actually some like unethical stuff to do, but I will share it just for fun since I don't care. Basically, you're looking for items that sells for like, super low, like 1 exalt orb with high quality. And this body armor with quality of 20. I mean, yeah, it's like a good armor for someone who just leveling. But sadly, I will just salvage it. And we got 4 armorer scraps, which can be converted to 1 exalted orb. But if we buy a bunch of them, we can actually sell like 35 armor scraps for 10 exalts. But we will have a little bit on top. That's how you can get a little bit of free exalts from thin air, basically. But again, tomorrow I will show you even crazier ways for even more divines, not exalts. Anyway, I'm jumping off topic a little bit, but that's just some fun stuff. So, if there's no demand for item, no one will buy it. Basically, don't even try to sell like cool armor pieces for warrior. There's no warriors to buy stuff from you. But there's loads of mages, loads of rangers, so stuff like bows, dexterity armors can go for nice amounts. And another reason why no one is buying for you is there's so much supply. If supply is like too big, and this is especially true for some like early game items, if you're trying to sell low level stuff, you maybe think that like level 54 item is good, but most importantly items level, required level, and if item have low item level, it's basically a low tier item and no one will buy it. And probably there's like loads of this crap on the market that everyone is dropping over here and trying to sell. And we are finally transferring into topic of how to price your items, because if you're pricing items too high, no one will also buy it. You can decide any price you wish. You can sell it for like 1 million chaos orbs. It doesn't mean that anyone will actually buy it. And in this guide, again, I want to focus more on like how to correctly price items so someone will buy it. Since I saw a bunch of videos where people say that, oh, we got 200 divines in profits today. Well, if items listed for 100 divines and no one buying it, it's not a profit. It's item in inventory and it's basically pixels on the screen. That's it. You want to have pixels in your pockets, you know, divine orbs, perfect exalted orbs and stuff like that. And to do it, of course, we need to correctly price items. So there's 3 ways technically. I will show 3 of them. Let's see this amulet, for example. And this amulet will have 3 implicits. We can highlight them and see that there's mana, elemental resistance, and cold resistance. So we can go into trade market. It's in the game right now, but it's also on the website. It doesn't matter. Kind of the same interface almost. And you look for similar items, like any amulet with stat filters of to all elemental resistance, to maximum life, which is like great bonuses, but extra fire resistance can be used in count filter, so you can have lightning resistance, fire resistance and cold resistance, at least one of them, and search. There will be more than 10,000 matches, of course, so it's better to like allocate points a little bit closer to our amulet. So let's see, all elemental, like 100 life and say 30 of resistances. So this will probably cost like 1 exalt orb right now. So that's like the price for this type of item if you search it like that. And it's pretty fair, probably it's really fair, since there's loads of supply for this kind of items. And that's pretty basic way, but again, it's so tedious to actually price items like that. So there's another way, and it will be also based on our filters, but it will be weighted sum filter. So instead of using count and stat filters, we will use weighted sum. It doesn't matter 1 or 2, I guess they almost the same. And you add filters like fire resistance, cold and lightning resistance, and all elemental resistance, of course. And you apply weights to them. So for example, it will be 1 for each of them and 3 for all elements resistance, since it gives you +1, +1, +1. And you want maximum weight, minimum weight based on your item. You can actually keep like another bonus like maximum life over here. For example, we want amulet with maximum life, but with weighted sum of these guys, and weighted sums should be like somewhere close to your eye. And we got 16 to all elemental resistances, which will be 16 multiplied by 3, which will be 48 plus 37, around 80. So we see amulets like this goes for 1 exalted orbs, exactly as we thought they would. If we raise a little bit of resistances, they will be for like 5 exalted orbs. And that's one of the ways how you may measure actual prices of your weapons, of your armors, amulets, but again, it's not exactly true, because as you can see, amulets for 5 exalts got loads of really good stuff on them. So while weighted sum can be good in some cases, and it's really like not beginner friendly stuff. It's good, for example, if you're trying to estimate price for some unique that specifically got some special stuff, like utility belt. It got bonuses that increases power of left and right ring. So when you're pricing this, you like to use weight sum, and we can change allocation, so that's the maximum sum you can get. And utility belts with 66 total sum, it's basically 32 plus 34. We'll go for like 10 divines, maybe someone will buy them if someone needs exactly this, like big numbers. So that's basically how you can estimate price. So this guy, for example, is overpricing. As you can see, that's where weighted sum can be really good. This guy thinks this belt worth 20 divines. It's not. It listed for 4 days, no one buying it because it's trash technically based on like price to item power. But this guy really got best belt on the server. Still 60 divines, probably a little bit overpriced. Overall, we can see that like 10 divines is something that we can get these belts for, and that's a good price. But again, it's a little bit more like on professional side, and I'm trying to make my builds, my videos, and everything beginner friendly. Therefore, as much as I hate third-party app tools, right now there's no option in the game to directly drop this item into trade section and check prices. We still need to manually like do all this crap, and it takes so much time. You want to play game, not to put a bunch of numbers into spreadsheets. And basically there's of course third-party app tools, like one I'm using PoE2 overlay. It's done by Overwolf. I know not everyone likes it. I don't care actually. I just downloaded stuff that was plug and play. I don't like third-party tools. I hope they will add something in the game, but still it works, and it works pretty easy. Basically you download this stuff. I'm not providing any links. Try to find it yourself. It's pretty easy. And then you can price items based on your bonuses. For example, you just press on cold resistance, elemental resistance, and maximum mana, and tada, that's the prices. So we can see that the similar amulets with similar stats placed 20 hours ago, 10 hours ago, so they are pretty fresh. And that's basically the prices. A little bit for 1 exalt, a little bit for 2. If you want to wait a little bit, you can price this amulet for 2 exalts. If you want faster sell it, you can drop it for 1 exalt. It works exactly like for every item. There will be hidden mods, and this mods is basically mods that adding to total DPS of items. So they will be hidden. You can unhide them if you wish to, and highlight them. So let's see how much this item worth. So my crossbow, if we check only this, will worth around like 3 divines, maybe 2, but we see that DPS over here is like 485, so that's bad. Let's highlight my DPS, let's search again, and it's already 90 divines. But does this crossbow actually got critical hit chance? Well, of course not. Critical damage bonus, I doubt that you have 6 to level of all attack skills. Again, This crossbow can go for like 50 divines, 100 divines. It's hard to measure actual prices for high-end gear in reality, because not a lot of people can buy them anyway. And now last part, it will be quick, how not to get scammed and underpaid. Well, if you're still using in-person trade, then you just need to be careful, because again there's so much new currency in this game, and if you're selling something for, like, for example, perfect exalted orb, which will cost like 3 divines, so you just need to be careful. But when you're selling stuff from merchant tab, the only one person that can actually fool you is yourself. Yeah, no one else can fool you. So of course you need to price check before dropping it into this stash tab, because if you will be too slow, you may actually sell this item for quite a low amount. Sometimes even if you're using price checker, you may actually not understand exact value of item. Maybe you forgot to collect something and your item in the reality is worth a lot more. Since again, this is stats for any rare amulet, but if you check this implicit on amulet, maybe it will worth a little bit more, since this amulet is a little bit better than others. There's a bunch of different amulets. For example, this one gives me plus 22 to maximum energy shield, and it can be very good for mages, but I completely don't care about this energy shield. I would rather get like bloodstone amulet with the same stats, but we got what we got. It was a great deal. T1 rolls for life, exactly what I need. Anyway, if you're actually worried about correctly pricing your items and being underpriced, you can use this strategy. You just drop your items and price them like as high as possible that is suitable for you. You may be wrong in some cases, so try to be careful. For example, if good price for you is like 100 exalted orbs, well, if you dropped Calendar Touched, it actually starts from 10 divines. But even 10 divines is underpriced. And as you can see, this ring exactly like 10 divines. So if you drop it for 100 exalts, it will be insta-bot. And even looking at this like price checkers, you need to be careful. Again, as I told you, most of people actually using normal trades. I mean trades through merchant, of course. They're not looking for trades person by person, because basically what's going on over here, you see a guy placed this calendar touch for 10 divines, and this icon over here tells that it's in-person trade. I actually messaged this guy. Of course he will never respond to me, and idea is simple. For someone like you who don't understand everything, you will get calendar touch, you will use price checker, you will check, oh, it goes for 10 divine orbs, yes? Well, yes, but in-person trade. This means he can not respond to me. I just messaged him for fun, because it will be easy 3 divine orbs if he sell it, but he won't, of course, he know what he's doing. Basically, he underpricing this item, so you will check and decide, oh, I want to sell it fast, I don't need this ring, and I will sell it for 9 divine orb. Guess what? This guy will instantly buy this item when you drop it into your merchant tab, and he will resell it for 13 divines. That's it. That's only reason why people do it. Sometimes there's mistakes, of course, but this mistake will be in instant buyout and will be instantly bought. So good luck, Chinese bot. And that's one of the reasons why no one using this basic trade. Again, people just can't use it normally. They always try to scam. Not everyone, but loads of them. So using price checker is great, but again, even if you sell Calendar Touch for 100 exalts, and if you don't know exactly how much does it cost, you won't actually bother a lot. You will have lots of fun with your 100 exalts. So don't forget, it's just a game, and have fun. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn how to get 50 divines per hour. I will post it tomorrow basically. And I really recommend you to learn how to buy good items instead of selling. So see this video on the screen right now, and see you in the next ones.